What do you do on holidays?
Well, holiday I will usually spend time to traveling to other places in my country to enjoy the beautiful landscape and refresh myself.
And who do you often spend the holiday with?
Oh, well, I prefer to spend time hanging out with my friends here and there and have the chit-chat for a short holiday.
What kind of places have you visited in your life?
Well, as a natural lover, I tend to move to the place which is like the mountainous area or the beach, which is very nice.
And in which seasons do you prefer to travel?
Well, I would say it's maybe the autumn because the temperature were pretty good. It's sunny but not too hot or not too humid.
Thank you. I can see a nice looking cafe up ahead. How about we sit down and do part 2?
Oh, that's great. Let's go.
Here we go. How about we sit over here?
Wonderful. I think this is a great atmosphere for us to start part 2, right? So can you give her the question? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So now it's the time for part 2, please.
All right. In this next part, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
You'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say and you can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. So here's your topic. I'd like you to describe an ideal house or apartment you'd like to have in the future.
Okay, I got it.
Right. Please prepare. Right, so while she's preparing, I would love to ask you a little bit of tips. So if you receive these kind of questions, what are the things that you need to focus on?
Right here. Well, first of all, I'd remember that there is no task response score for speaking. So if you're a higher level student, if you're going for 7 or above, you don't have to answer all of the bullet points. They're just guidelines. If you've got a good story in mind, I'd say remember to focus on the first line and the last line. So that makes sure that you're on topic and you're doing the explain section of the question. I think if you focus on that, you're going to get less bogged down in details and you're going to sound a little bit more natural. But of course, if you're lower level, work your way through the bullet points and that's going to help you keep speaking for 2 minutes.
Wow, that's an amazing tip. I think it's going to help those who are going to take the IELTS exam soon very well. And I think 1 minute for preparation has also ended. So please, you guys can start the conversation.
Thank you. Can you start speaking now, please?
Okay, so now I'd like to describe about my perfect house in the future. So it could be spacious and tranquil and confined. That I think is therefore would be located in the mountainous area or because with the quiet and tranquil atmospheres. So I will design my house in a minimalist way. So the house would be the medium size with a balcony on the 2nd floor so that I can watch the sky and while also having a cup of coffee in the morning or in the late afternoon. And natural light is the must for my house. And in terms of the equipment, I think it's not necessary to have much equipment or the furniture. So just have the cupboard or the cooking utensil and the large living room for the whole family and other essentials. This would be okay. And the color for my house would be the creamy white, which brings an elegant vibe. And tree and garden are also surrounded by my house for decoration and to make it more beautiful. And I think this is my ideal house because this would be perfect place for me when I'm in need of relaxation or I want to escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. So there would be a place for me to run or walk to keep me active throughout the day because I also follow the healthy lifestyle. And and that is my perfect house, my ideal house that I want to live in the future. I hope I can build and own it.
Thank you.
That's perfect. You did well. And now we're going to move on to part 3.
So, we've been talking about a house you'd like to own in the future, and I'd like to continue to discuss this topic with you further. So, let's talk about a place to live. How easy is it to find a place to live in your country?
Well, I think it depends on the budget you have and where exactly you want to live. So, if you have money, so choosing a place to live is not a problem. However, like recently the house price has been on the rise, so it is difficult for especially young adults to, you know, to buy a house or to rent a house in some areas.
Do you think it's better to rent or to buy a place to live in?
I think buying a house or renting a house has the pros and cons. Like if you're buying a house, you can have the feeling of like, you know, satisfied, you're like successful when you're owning a house.
In your country, where do most young people up to the age of 25 live? Do they live by themselves or with their parents?
Well, in Vietnam, according to, as I know, is that the young age from 20 to 25, they tend to live away from their parents because since they were 18, I do not mention all, but most of them tend to move to the city to study at university. So yeah, of course, it's must for them to live away from their parents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so congratulations on finishing your speaking test. I think you nailed it.
Now it's time to study IELTS.